Daniel Ricciardo's most important season of his F1 career has got off to a terrible start, with the Aussie driver barely getting 5 points in 8 races, and it seems like he was going to lose his seat no matter what. However, recent rumours suggest something completely different, largely due to the current situation in Red Bull. Could the Honeybadger keep his seat, or no matter what, the ruthlessness of Horner and Helmut will get the better of him? Last year, Ricciardo had the support of the Red Bull team principal mid-season, which led to his return to the F1 grid full-time at sister team AlphaTauri after an impressive test, replacing Nick de Vries. Ricciardo started this year as a strong contender to replace Sergio Perez, whose Red Bull contract expires this year. However, Ricciardo has underperformed with Red Bull this season and is currently 14th in the F1 standings, 4 places behind teammate Yuki Tsunoda. But recent reports suggest that despite Tsunoda's consistent performance, including scoring points in 5 of the past 6 Grand Prix, he's not changing minds at Red Bull. Although Tsunoda may be a candidate to replace Perez alongside Max Verstappen in 2025, Ricciardo, despite his underperformance, still has the key support of Horner. According to the report, Ricciardo is safe for now from being replaced by Lawson. However, Ricciardo is part of the internal issues within Red Bull that were exposed after an investigation cleared Horner of accusations from a colleague. Helmut Marko, a veteran advisor with Red Bull's dominant team, would probably like to promote Lawson at Ricciardo's expense, but Marko has lost power and influence in the aftermath of the controversy involving Horner. Lawson could potentially join Red Bull full-time next season, but it would likely be alongside Ricciardo rather than replacing the popular Australian. But he's going to have to be patient over his potential Formula One future, with RB team principal Pierre acknowledging the team are finding performance with both Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo in the car. Tsunoda may consider other opportunities, since a promotion from the second to the first Red Bull team seems unlikely for him. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko has suggested RB has several options regarding its driver lineup for the 2025 Formula One season. The New Zealander is in contention for a promotion to a full-time RB seat next year and has warned the team he'll look elsewhere if he doesn't receive a call-up. However, in addition to Lawson on the sidelines, Marko detailed that there are other options available. It's a luxury problem, Marko told motorsport.com. We have another Honda driver besides Tsunoda who is finishing good races, and that is Ayumu Iwasa. He's not won a race yet this year in the Japanese Super Formula category, but he's had 2 bad starts, but he's still 3rd in the championship. Tsunoda and Iwasa are 2 Japanese drivers who have long-term contracts with us, so we'll have to see how that continues in the long run. With Lawson knocking on the door for a race seat and other Red Bull juniors such as Ayumu Iwasa in Super Formula, as well as Isaac Hadjar and Pepe Marti in Formula 2, all vying for attention on their route through the junior categories. There is a queue of drivers looking to make it onto the grid as early as next year. While it had happened that Lawson's name would be among the main contenders for a seat next season, RB team boss Pierre explained that the team is in a luxury situation at the moment where they have both drivers performing and a strong grassroots pyramid beneath them. He added there is unlikely to be a decision on the team's F1 2025 lineup before the summer break, with Lawson performing reserve duties for both Red Bull teams this season after competing in Super Formula last year prior to his temporary call-up to replace Ricciardo. Liam is an extremely valuable member to the team, Bayer told media in Monaco when asked about what Lawson's future may hold. He's with us every weekend, obviously. He's doing a lot of work in the simulator, but currently we have 2 drivers in the cars. We are finding performance with the 2, and we really do not discuss the 2025 situation, perhaps because we're in a luxury situation of having that strong grassroots pyramid behind us, and so the focus is really on track and on the next couple of races until definitely the summer break. Despite recent struggles, Ricciardo claimed an impressive 4th place during the Miami sprint race and will need similar results to secure his F1 future. However, if he fails, the 34-year-old could be given a lifeline, with Tsunoda making a shock team switch, but a spot at Sauber Audi could materialise for the Japanese driver. For example, if Ocon jumps to Haas, there is still an Audi seat available, and while keeping Bottas or Zhou might be an option, the whisper on the Monaco waterfront was that Yuki Tsunoda is now top of the list of the German manufacturer. If Tsunoda moves to Audi, this could solve a problem for RB, being able to promote reserve driver Liam Lawson, who may begin to look elsewhere for a race seat, and retain Ricciardo. So could Liam Lawson return to F1 next year? Red Bull needs to fit 5 drivers into 4 seats if it wants to hold on to Liam Lawson, and while Daniel Ricciardo has been a little disappointing this year, he would still be a good measure by which to see if young Lawson is worthy or not, and the alternative would be to drop Ricciardo and have Yuki and Lawson, or have the Honeybadger and the New Zealander and leave Yuki out, which would probably be the least likely thing to happen. The Honda connection will play a big role in Tsunoda's future in the sport as Red Bull move on from its successful partnership with the engine manufacturer at the end of next season. Honda will then of course move on to a deal with Aston Martin from 2026 and have previously said they'd like to continue to work with Honda Racing School graduate Tsunoda going forward. But Ricciardo is an asset to the team rather than a liability. Laurent Mekies, the RB team principal, emphasised Daniel Ricciardo's significant contributions to the team. Despite his struggles to score points in 2024, Ricciardo trails his teammate Yuki Tsunoda by 14 points this season, but as his contract nears its end, Mekies highlighted the various ways Ricciardo has benefited the team. Mekies, who first collaborated with Ricciardo in 2012 before the Australian moved to Red Bull and Mekies to the FIA, detailed Ricciardo's importance to the team's development. He described Ricciardo and Tsunoda as a valuable pairing and praised Ricciardo's specific contributions in helping the team identify and address gaps in their projects. It's a huge luck for this team to have a pairing of Yuki and Daniel. Daniel specifically in the context of the projects where the team needs to go and helping identify the gaps. It hugely helps to have somebody like Daniel that won 8 races, has been at a few teams and knows where the board can be and where the board needs to go. He added that Ricciardo's input has been substantial even during races where performance was lacking, and acknowledged that Ricciardo initially struggled with some characteristics of the car that did not give him full confidence, but noted this challenge is common in the sport. It makes sense that Danny provides good feedback at this point in his career, and Yuki is performing well due to feedback provided by Ricciardo. He's more sensitive, so gives a lot of input on how to make a race-winning car. Yuki probably gives less feedback in this regard and drives around problems, which isn't a bad thing, but probably not the best asset to propel a team forward. So they're both good for each other. So this might be a deciding factor in whether or not Ricciardo will stay in the team, no matter what happens. He could begin by beating Tsunoda, and with that probably not happening this year, the only thing that's left for the Honeybadger is, strangely or not, the exact thing Meki claims he's doing, which is to help the team in every other way possible if he's not doing that on track. So if 2 of the 3 most important people like him, with Horner defending him as well as Mekies, I think it's safe to assume that we'll be seeing more of the most popular figure in the sport even in 2025 and onwards. Whether or not that's a good choice by RB, a team that wants to make a breakthrough for the top 5, especially with how bad Aston Martin is this year, we'll have to wait and see. Let us know down in the comments, do you think Ricciardo should stay in RB? Thanks for watching today's video. We'll see you very soon.